Yeah, I've just started the recording. Thank you.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir. We were waiting for you to join in. Thank you very much for
Good
joining.
evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
So we are starting with a prayer with a 1 minute silence. Sir. After that, we'll proceed. Thank you.
No internet, sir.
ಭಾರತೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಟ್ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂದು ಆನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Okay, thank you very much. And thanks everybody for spending this valuable time. The next 1 hour, 20 minutes or 1 hour, 25 minutes would be a great journey. As we have, one of the, greatest speaker, I would call a very humble personality with me. But before I really go ahead and introduce the speaker for today, I would just like to say just for a minute about the Mindset Club for Success. Now, this Mindset Club for Success, which I've created maybe 2.5 months back, it's a platform for all the trainers, the speakers, the businessmen who can come forward and share their valuable experiences. Sometimes they are lower moments in life, sometimes the higher moments in life, their journey for opportunities and challenges which they have faced in their life. Because I think people might be knowing you by saying that, oh, okay, he's a people skill personality, he's a mindset coach or something like that. But people would definitely not be knowing the stories or maybe some challenges which you have faced. Your one story can change a person's life like anything. Just like you name any brand, they have a story behind this. So everything is story. You can see every people in today's scenario speaking on the platform, they would have a story to share. So I'm really thankful to all of you that you have joined this platform. And I request all of you, each one of you, we must have passed through some bad moments and some good moments. So if you can go ahead and please share those moments in front of the audience, because this will be putting it into having it in YouTube and Insta and various other places. So it's a very good way to project yourself and speak about yourself, maybe to a very deeper extent, what you really do and how you can really help people. Share your social media profiles, which I'll be sharing of Reena Madam to each and every one of you. You can make a note of it and keep in touch with her, because she's a great life skill trainer, a good communicator too. So that would really help all of you. Okay, so that was about the Mindset Club for Success. So let me go ahead and introduce Reena Madam over here. Reena Madam, she's a proprietor for Mentis Academy, where she trains people on life skills, communication, and also into insurance. And she believes in doing is knowing and to channelizing thought to actions. So apart from that, she also conducts sessions for the medical insurance. Her whole journey till now has been soaked in life experiences of myriad kinds, which have been extremely challenging at times. Okay, so let's go ahead and hear from her itself. And apart from that, she's an author. Okay, just like 2 weeks back, we had Mr. Sai Raja, who is an author for Million Dollar Life. In the same way, we have a great opportunity to meet an author. Okay, so she has written a great book called The Principles and Theories in Modern Management, which I've already put it into the post and mentioned that. So it's really nice to have her. So maybe if she can give a glimpse of this particular book also during her talk, that would be really great. And I request all of you to please go ahead and purchase this book from Amazon. It's readily available in Amazon. Okay. And apart from that, the most important thing is that she's a part of Indian Academy of Training and Development, just like we all are being trained with this such great platform. So it's really nice to be associated with Mumbaikar. And apart from that, the most great thing is that I'm also a Mumbaikar. Okay, I stayed in Vakola during my childhood days, schooling, everything I done in Vakola. And then later, after my marriage in 2003, I too shifted to Bhayandar, a little bit outskirts of Mumbai, after Borivali. So I'm also, very happy that Reena madam is also from Mumbai. So it happens, right? Though Mumbai wale milte, so it's that vada pav and all that things, you really, feel great, amazing. So without taking much of your time, I request Reena Mathu madam to please come onto this virtual platform and shower us with lots of experiences, real life experiences, which will definitely go ahead and help all of us in the near future. And for all of your information, I'll also put my YouTube channel over here where you can go ahead and have the recording for this, all the total this thing within 24 hours. I'll go ahead and upload it. Okay, so that everybody will go ahead and take a benefit of all these things. So over to you, Reena madam, it's all yours. And one more thing I request, if possible, please make a note of any of the doubts or maybe any questions. I do not want anybody to, if possible, not to interrupt her flow, Reena madam, so that she let her go in her own way and, speak everything. Later, we can ask, we have 15 minutes session where we can all go ahead and ask any questions to her. So right now it is 17:47, that is, sorry, 5:47. So you can take up to 6:40, Reena madam. Okay? Up to 6:40, you can go ahead and start speaking for another, say, 53 minutes or so. It's up to you. Okay. And later after that, we'll have a 15 minutes of question and answer session. And another 5 minutes, by 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and wind up the whole session. Okay, so it's all over to you. So thank you all again for joining this great session of Reena Mathu madam. So over to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you so much for such lovely introductions. It's a great honor to be on this platform and to present my views on my some life instances from my life story here. And as I believe very rightly that every life story has some unique life experiences to be shared with other people. And some learnings from these life experiences. So as Mr. Pradeep Shetty stated in his introductions of me, stating that I'll be sharing my few instances from my life story and the challenges that I encountered, how I was able to face those challenges, and what learnings can be there from these life instances. So all those things we'll be discussing in the latter part of the presentation. So precisely, I'm here and to tell you that I hail from a average, normal, middle class, but an aspiring family. My father had a transferable job. And so I got an opportunity to visit a lot of places in India and to see places. But when I was growing up as a kid, I was finding this a little bit of a challenge because like all other children, when you try and find your roots, when you get accustomed to your surroundings, you get accustomed to your place, you get accustomed to your friends, you don't want to be parted from them. But then that was not to be. Life does not go as per your wishes. So whenever we used to be uprooted, leaving the place where we were staying and going off to another place after, say, 4 or 5 years. So that used to be very painful for me while I was growing up as a child. But then later on, I got used to it. And in fact, I would look forward to such transfers. You are looking at a picture of a scrawny, tiny, timid, and a very shy little girl. She was so shy that she would turn the other way whenever she would find a stranger or any other person approaching her and wanting to talk to her. She would hide behind her father or her mother or any of the known places, known faces or any known person. And she would go dumbstruck whenever she was spoken to, or if she was being asked a question, she would not be able to answer the question. She would just keep gazing, just keep looking at the person back without uttering a single word. And at school also, she would just keep sitting at one place, observing other students talking amongst themselves, playing with each other. She would be very attentive in the class. She would listen to her class teacher or the teachers, and she would hold them in high esteem because she always epitomized her teachers to be, embodiments of discipline and firmness and authority. Besides this, as a small child, I was a little sensitive. I had all these notions about, how other people should be thinking and what they would think if it was to be done in this way, if it was to be done that way, whether it will be appropriate, whether it will be fine for so and so person. So I used to have all those thinkings and all those notions. I used to have concerns, on all these issues. And if at all anybody had any misgivings with me, and I would take it to heart and generally feel so sorry about everything. At home, I used to throw tantrums. I was a big tantrum thrower at home, but not outside. Outside, I would be docile like a dog. So as like every normal growing up child, I too had my fair shares of sicknesses and illnesses. So anytime there was high fever and headaches, body aches, all those things, and I would be laid up on the bed for some number of days. In fact, I remember we had to go on a vacation or holiday to our native place. So 3 days before that, I got laid down with very high fever. And so my father had to get the tickets cancelled and do the rebooking for some other day. The other time, I fell sick upon reaching the place. And this time it was a legendary sickness. It went on for almost 20-25 days. I was down with a severe bout of jaundice. And so I would keep looking at people coming in, going in, and generally having all nice things to eat while I was being given all bland food and boiled water to drink. So that was again a challenge for me. I did not know how to come out of it. And I used to eagerly look forward to eating my favorite food, my favorite dishes, recipes, and my favorite fast food. So this was what I was going through when I was a small child. Besides my bouts of sickness and illnesses, I was even prone to accidents. So just like any normal growing up child, small child, I was very energetic. I would never be still at one place. I would keep jumping around, keep running from one room to another room. And on one such occasion, it so happened that our maid servant, she was coming in the opposite direction with a glass in her hand. And I was coming in the opposite direction running. There was a collision and the glass broke and I had a cut above my lips. So there were small splinters, glass splinters that had got embedded inside my skin. And so again, I was hospitalized, there was surgery, there were stitches and all those things. And again, a big concern for my parents. Over and above that, then again, I used to be then, if I wanted anything from the shelf, my kind of a thing, I would perch myself up on the stool and try and get the thing from the shelf. And at times the tool would topple and along with it, I also would fall down. So again, bruises and wounds all around, and those had to be mended. And immediately my grief-stricken mother would carry me and take me to the nearest dispensary and get the first aid treatment done. Besides that, then again, it was, as I said, I was accident prone. For some reason or the other, I could never climb down the stairs properly. So whenever I would climb down, I would, skid, and I would go toppling down 3, 4 stairs and land myself on a thud on the ground below. So again, badly getting hurt, a bruise here, a scratch here. So this went on for quite some time, and I wanted to come out of it. And I seriously wanted to come out of it, seriously wanted some solution to it. While all this was happening, we had it was time for my father to have another round of posting. So we left that place and went to another place. So again, a challenge for me, different surrounding, different school friends, different school teachers, trying to get accustomed to that. It was at that point my paternal grandfather decided to move with us. Initially, everything was fine, and I went on having my own bouts of, accidental falls and accidental trips. Now, my grandfather realized that I needed some guidance. Not that my parents were not available to give me that, but then they were also busy and occupied in their own jobs. So since my grandfather was there, he took it upon himself to hold my hand, show me the way, guide me, mentor me, and coach me into doing things. He would help me in my homework. He would help me in my assignments. He would help me do my do little sketchbooks. Over and above that, then he also would goad me and ask me to accompany him on nature trails. It is at one such occasion, then he also showed me different insects. He familiarized me with different plants around us, trees around us, what nature could do, how nature was of help to mankind, and that we had to pay our obeisance to nature and preserve it for our own goodwill. That is what he would keep telling me. And that is how I imbibed those values within me, that nature needs to be preserved. There need not be any rampant tree cutting and unnecessarily, cutting of plants and other things. It was at that, in that particular place, new place. The school was not very far from my place, and I had a friend, next door neighbor friend, who used to cycle down to the school. So she very gladly accepted to take me behind her and take me to the school and then get me back also from the school. And I used to be sitting behind her on the carrier, on her cycle. Once what happened, she fell sick and she was not able to go to school for some number of days. And I was stuck, since there was no driver to take me to the school and get me from school again. So at such a particular point of time, my grandfather then requested my parents to get a cycle for me, so that it would become easier for me to go to the school and then come back from there without having to depend upon anybody. The cycle also came, everything was fine till now. But again, the challenge was I did not know how to ride a cycle. So again, it was my grandfather who came forward and showed me how it was to be getting a balance on top of the cycle. So it took me somewhere around, I think, roughly 19-20 days to get that balance on the cycle. But again, not before my fair share of falling down and getting hurt and getting wounds all over. In fact, even after the wound would have dried up, I would again get a fresh wound on the same place because I would fall down again and again from the cycle. And my grandfather realized my predicament. And I'm really thankful to him. I remember him greatly, his noble deed. He, at that age, he decided, okay, he would catch hold of the carrier while I was riding the cycle. He would catch hold of the carrier from behind and almost run along with it. At that age, I simply can't forget that. So I started developing a bond, a very congenial and a cordial bond with my grandfather, and started confiding in him of all my worries and problems. He, in fact, also encouraged me to take part in activities, outdoor activities. He would tell me, after 5 o'clock in the evening, I don't want you to be at home. I want you to be out in the playground playing with other children. And he would also encourage me to take part in the athletic competitions and sports events, and to take part in debating, declamation contests, and other things. And within no time, I found myself getting involved, getting thrown in these activities. But then I realized that I was not doing a very bad job of it too. You name it, and I was there in every kind of an activity. And slowly and steadily, I was gaining that confidence within me. And I think partly it was due to my grandfather. Not that I do not hold my parents, and give them that benefit, but it was also more on my grandfather's part, that he goaded me, that he coaxed me, that he pushed me to do things in a particular manner. Now it was time for me to be in the higher school, in my 11th, 12th grade. It was again a new place, different surroundings, different school friends, different teachers in the school. But then at this age, it was not much of a problem, not much of a challenge for me. I got used to it. Now my first day in school, in the present school, this was in Delhi. We were earlier, before Delhi, we were earlier in a small town next to Hyderabad. So that was a small town where everybody knew me and I knew everybody else. But when we shifted to Delhi, it was a culture shock, for me at least, because I got lost in the crowd. The first 15 to 20 days in my class just went by like that. I would go sit in the chair, take down all the notings, everything quietly, and then go back. But then I realized that it cannot go on for long. I needed to do something about it. What we had at that time was a 0 hour. A 0 hour was for about 5 to 10 minutes. And this was before the first period started. So I utilized that 0 hour for socializing. What I did was I would start from the first bench and wish each of my classmates, strike a conversation with small conversation with each one of them. And it so happened, and every day it went off like that. And by the end of 1 month, I had received a birthday invite from one of them. And from then onwards, life was never looking back. I made some very amazing friends. Why I'm stating is that, friends, is that because at times things don't fall into your lap. You have to take an effort, go out and reach out to them. Grab those opportunities. Grab it before it gets lost. And why we need to do it? Because it adds value. There is a value addition to your life experience. Now, Anybody can tell me what do they make out of this? You all can unmute yourself and then say one by one, what do you make out of this?
This is
These
the
are some
mountain
caves.
range. Mountain range. Where in this? I've seen this in Kuala Lumpur, Batu Caves. Where in that mountain range? It is a mountain range actually. Is it
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Glacier?
Anybody else would like to try?
Cave, it is a
Glacier?
cave.
Cave.
These are caves,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Glaciers? Can we call it as glaciers?
Anyone else?
Is it some kind of a underground? No, it's a metal somewhere underground.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this a place in J&K wherein the cave, like a small mountain where the ices melt and start falling down?
Okay.
I think it's called stalagmite or stagmite or something like that.
Yes. So most of you are quite correct about the answers. Yes, these are the caves. These are the underground caves. And what you see, these spindle-like structures that are coming from the roof and touching the bottom they are called the stalagmites. Yes. So, but just look at the structures, the designs, the aesthetics of it. These are the Al Huta caves. They are naturally made caves found in Middle East.
But Batu Caves in Kuala Lumpur looks the same like this only, madam.
Yes.
Murugan Temple is there. It's famous for that.
But these are the caves that are found in Middle East, and these are
Middle
naturally
East,
made. And these are naturally made caves. But you look at the aesthetics of it, sir.
Yeah, similarity is there.
I mean,
Yeah.
these structures, and this one is somewhat like, you know, the jaw of a tiger. It looks to be the jaw of a tiger,
Yeah.
or something like that. That the tooth that is coming out.
Amazing. Mhm.
Yeah. So now anybody can, in their own words, in a very simple terminology. I'm not saying that you have to be very accurate, scientifically very accurate, but just tell me, how are caves formed? What do you understand? What may be the process behind the formation of caves as such? Just in a very simple layman terminology. I don't want any scientifically accurate definition or a meaning or anything. Just what you understand by what may be the process behind formation of a cave. It's not a test, but I'm just using this example for an analogy that I want to derive out of it. That is all.
Yeah, volcanic eruptions, and after that, the hot lava spreading across maybe
Yeah.
miles together, and once they freeze or something like that, they get solid, something like that.
So yeah, okay, yes. Anybody else
Pressure,
would like
too
to
much
try?
too much of pressure.
Too much of pressure underneath. Okay.
Water entering the rock and
Okay.
finding its way and making it into a cave form.
Absolutely, Vivekji.
During
Yes.
earthquake also it happens, no, madam. During earthquake also, caves are formed actually.
Yes, it's because of the pressure applied on the earth at that particular point. There
Yeah.
are these slides, the earth surfaces that slide over each other, and because of that, the
It
earth
clashes
gets
over each
lifted
other
up.
and yeah.
So what Vivekji stated, yes, because of the water filtering down under the earth and acting on the earth underneath and on the hard rock surface, you get such kind of structures. So it was this with the same intention. My father would say, you be like the water that goes inside the earth, that filters inside, that percolates inside the earth, and then forms the rock, forms a cave-like structure, forms these amazingly beautiful creations that you see. So water by itself is soft. It cannot do anything to the hard earth surface or the rock. Rock is a solid structure. Water cannot move by itself the rock from its place. All right. But then look, over the ages, over millennials and millennials, over like thousands and thousands of years, by continuous action of water on the surface, this is what amazing, these amazing structures within the earth are formed. So he would tell me, be like that water. Keep on at it. Keep on doing your work. Keep on focusing at your goals. Regularly, daily, little by little, dose by dosage. Do your action. Do whatever is required of you. With a single-minded pursuit. Have that focus, absolute focus. It's like, you know, the horses have those blinkers. They cannot look here and there, and it is just straight on looking. So this is what he would tell me. Be like that water which goes inside the earth and creates such magnificent creations. And all this is being done silently. You cannot hear action being, you know, there is this action of water on the surface. You cannot hear, you cannot even see it. It's all hidden from your eye. So which is the way he would say, go at it silently without even making any noise about it. At your work, be at your work, do bit by bit, what you have to do, and you will finally reach your ultimate goal which you want to reach at. So I hope this is okay. I hope the analogy that I have taken is the right analogy, because this is what he used to tell me, my father. If I had to reach my goal, I had
It's
to
a
have
great
that,
analogy, madam.
Yeah.
It's a great analogy.
if I had to have that
Yes, put it in a
single-minded
beautiful
pursuit.
sense, actually. Great.
So if I had to have that single-minded pursuit, I needed to really focus. Thank you for listening. Thank you everybody for listening to my presentation till now. I would now like everybody to go in for an activity, a small activity. I would request everybody to please stand up at your place. Yes. And close your eyes. And imagine you are standing in the middle of a beautiful garden with nice green grass all around. Lovely flowers, colorful flowers blossoming in the flower beds. Imagine that, and imagine beautifully blossomed shady trees, birds chirping, nice breeze blowing all around you. Now, just extend your arms on the side of your shoulders as if you are about to start gliding. Yes. Turn backwards slightly. Yes, with your eyes still closed. Now, get your arms around yourself to give yourself a tight hug. And with your eyes still closed, try and feel what you are getting. What feelings are you getting right now? Try and soak in those feelings. Be like this for a few more seconds. What they say is Jadoo ki jhappi, the tight hug. Okay. Now you can slowly unwind and open your eyes. So you can state what your experiences were. What did you feel?
Self-love, self-esteem, self-worth.
Absolutely.
You get all those things in this.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. Any other replies?
Feeling of gratitude about the nature.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, Reena ma'am, Kalpana.
Yeah, Kalpana ma'am.
I became emotional actually.
You
There
became
were tears in
emotional.
emotional, and like tears were in my eyes. Actually, mostly whenever I'm asked to close the eyes or meditation, immediately tears come to my. I don't know. I become very emotional.
Okay, okay,
I'm connected to the maybe some other world. I become emotional.
okay, okay, okay.
Most of yeah. Thank you.
I felt as if I was in Lalbagh, where I used to go every day walking.
Okay.
Few last year.
Okay,
Since
okay,
1 year, I am missing it. So I
okay,
really felt I was there.
okay, okay. So good.
Yeah, I felt as if I have somebody who I love so close with that hug to myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Feel
See,
very, very light
yes,
and very
yes,
pleasant feeling.
yes, absolutely, absolutely, Tina.
I too
Yes,
felt very light. There was so much of lightness. There is actually, I felt there was no burden at all. Tensionless mode. Thank you.
tensionless mode. Absolutely. So, see what, just that simple act of hugging yourself, giving a tight hug to yourself does to you. It means that a human being is a social being. It needs love. It needs to be cherished. It needs that, closeness. And it needs to be, there needs to be emphasized, that moment to be emphasized, that you are a very special person, that you are the most important person on this earth for yourself. And that it's like saying, aham brahmasmi, that I am God, God resides within me. So I need to take good care of myself. So unless I'm not good, unless I don't feel good from inside, I will not be able to present myself the same way to other people. So I need to make myself strong. I need to make myself very clear from inside. I need to make myself feel loved, feel cherished. And then only I'll be able to give it to the others, to outside. So the basic idea behind this activity was just once in a while, give yourself that tight hug, Jadoo ki Jhappi. It does wonders to you. It does wonder. It just takes away all the negativity within you. And the very fact that you are outstretching your arms like that, and then drawing from the nature and bringing it close to yourself, that means you are assimilating those positivity which you have collected from the nature, and assimilating assimilating those within you. So it was in that manner. Now let us come back to my life story. My school and everything, all college and everything was over. And it was time for me to now take up a job. And fortunately for me, I landed myself in a consumer electronic giant. And that was a very plush job at that age, and my first assignment itself. So I had a lot to talk about in my resume with regards to my first job. I was there for about several years, 4-5 years. And then subsequently, there was a wave of liberalization at that time. I don't know if you people remember, Dr. Manmohan Singh was at the helm of the economic affairs that time in India. Yes. So during that liberalization wave, I wanted to try it out, try my bit out in trading, international trading. So I took up a job with a trading organization, wanted to learn the tricks of the trade. So I got into trading of commodities, textiles, metals, and fabrics, and you name it, whatever, hosiery items, hosiery made-ups, garments, and we used to export it to US, USSR, and European countries. So a few years in that, and subsequently there was time for marriage, and parents were behind me. That marriage is also on those cards, and I could not avert myself from it for very long. And my husband was here in Mumbai, and I was in Delhi, and I joined him here. For a few months initially, we were staying in Mumbai in a rented apartment. And After 1 or 2 years, then we got our own apartment in Thane, and I moved into Thane, and ever since I'm here. Initially, there was a little bit of a problem because he had a moving kind of an assignment. He would never be at one place. So for days and days, for number of days together, endlessly, he would be out on tours. And I would be at home with small toddlers. They were still very small. And somebody needed to be around them. Fortunately for me, I found a very good maid who would take off a little more of the household chores and help me in little activities. And this was how I was able to manage on my own here. At this point of time, my parents would keep calling me up, keep asking me, you leave that place and come back here because you're all by yourself, you will not be able to manage. But I realized that if life has got to be here and it has to start, then I better than put in my 100% of it. Why at this initial stage itself, I give up on my life and say everything is okay and I'll go back to my parents' place. Why did I get married in the first place if that was to be? So I did not relent. They kept on calling me. I kept silent, did not, in fact, even receive their calls. And at times when, in a very angry manner, they would speak to me and I would tell them that's okay. But then why did I get married in the first place if I was to come back to you and join you people? So this went on for some time. And then after a few years, they also stopped calling me up for this particular purpose. And they realized that I was actually meaning to carry on with this life the way it was. I said, no, they would say, you won't be able to look after 2 small children. I said, it is up to God. I have left it to God. If I was not able to take care of 2 small children, he would not have given me these 2 children then. But because he feels that I would be able to look after them, that is why he's given. I mean, that is a logic that I used to use. And so seeing that she had already made up her mind, she was not going to be convinced by any kind of reasoning given to her, they left. Finally, they left me to my own world. And it so happened, few years down the line, I also, when my toddler children were slightly of the age, and I started going back to my job, a full-time job that I picked up, because money was required. At that time, financially, we were not very sound too. So I needed to take up a job. And it went on for some number of years like that. In the meantime, my husband decided to take up a job in Middle East. And he asked me to join him over there. So initially I said, okay, I'll just accompany you and see what the place is like and whether it will be okay for my children to be brought up over there with the kind of education. And then after a lot of, finding and discovering things, I got to know that I was better off being in India. I told him, I said, you can carry on, continue the way you are. I will stay put wherever I am and try and raise my children in whichever best possible way I can. So that was in a nutshell my life story till now. I have a few points that I wanted to make over here. The key to life is accepting challenges. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. So, focus on the present goals. The learnings that I want to give over here is have your goals identified, daily goals and long-term goals also. And as we discussed previously, focus on those goals little by little, step by step, overcome them on a daily basis, and you'll be able to reach the final stage. Be persistent, like that water under the earth. Be persistent at it regularly on a daily basis, and you will attain it. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Unless and until you don't reach out to things, things will not fall in your lap. Gain and share knowledge. My father would tell me, keep your eyes and ears open, besides what teacher is telling you. If you want only your teacher's learning, that is okay. But if you want to do something extra, then keep your eyes and ears open and share whatever you have gained. Because when you're sharing, your knowledge itself becomes doubled. And as Dalai Lama also states, when you share knowledge, it is a way to achieve immortality. Remember, you are a VIP. As we found out with that little activity that we did, that we are the most important person for our own self. We are a special people, and we are endowed with such humongous strength given to us by God that we can achieve anything under the sun. This is my email ID. Anybody wants to reach out to me can reach out on this particular email ID. I'm also available on these social media sites, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, I would request all of you to please take maybe a screenshot or something of this. You can move the slide slowly, Reena ma'am.
Yeah.
You can go to the first slide with your email address.
Yeah.
Just wait for 10, 15 seconds and then. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. Yeah, and I feel you are really creating a brand.
Yes.
Because with Mentes Academy, people have started knowing, and I can see you in Insta too. A lot of
Yes.
people have, yeah, when they write
Yes.
the review and everything. That's really great. That's really important. Just like few people are known by their names, just like our Mr. Sai Raja is known by
Yes.
$1 Million Life. People might not be knowing Sai Raja, but yes, $1 Million Life. Yeah. In the same way, the principles, if you can speak a few minutes about the principles of the modern management.
Yeah, that was what some years back that I had. I had all these details and I wanted to pen my thoughts down in the form of a draft or some manuscript, and which is what I did at that point of time. You see, I have worked with various different organizations in different capacities, and what I found was the organization structure was different. So in some organizations, you had a pyramid kind of a structure. So when you say that it is a pyramid kind of a structure, means it is basically a single person at the top, and then the authority percolates down to the bottom level. So which is why you have a pyramid. That is a pointed structure at the top, and the bottom is flat out. Then there was an inverted pyramid also. So in the inverted pyramid, you have at the top, there are at that same level, you have lot of people positioning at the top, and then it goes and generally tapers down to a particular point. Then there was another structure that you find in organization, which is called, which I stated as a parallelogram. I took all these geometrical designs as a parallelogram, means two sides, two lines, but not meeting anywhere and going parallelly, which means in many organizations, in fact, this was one of the organizations that I had worked with, where I found two people doing the same things. If I'm doing A, you are also doing A. And ultimately it is not meeting anywhere. But this one is going parallelly in its track and this one is going in its track and doing exactly the same thing. So there was duplication of work. And because of this duplication of work, there is a little bit of confusion also created. So ultimately, whosoever gets the work done, so the chief executive rewards that particular team. So this was, I have penned it down like that, management by confusion. So there used to be utter chaos and utter confusion. Who's doing what? Because you are also doing the same thing, I'm also doing the same thing. But then ultimately the end result was that only the person who was able to achieve the target, he would be recognized by the CEO. So I guess this must be, these modern CEOs' strategy nowadays to get the work done from their employees. So this is what I have penned down in my book. These are all my experiences till now, having worked with, at various levels with different organizations. So these are the different structures of organizations available.
Yeah, you can try moving the slides. Maybe I think you have 2 more slides. Yeah, the next one.
So this is LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah, and the other slide, one more slide you have.
This is my YouTube channel.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
I have uploaded some videos on my YouTube channel. So please, I would request you all to subscribe.
Sure.
And go through those videos.
Yeah.
In fact, some of the videos are on this particular topic, living on the moment, living in the moment, because that is my tagline, and that is going to come and keep recurring in my various sessions, in my forthcoming sessions also. So you will keep seeing that again and again, living in the moment, living in the moment.
That's good.
On living in the moment itself, I have uploaded some videos. So these are all my thought processes, actually, nothing else. This is how visualize that this is how it should be. This is the direction that it can take.
Okay. You still have 5 minutes more, Reena madam. If you want to share something more, you can please go ahead.
Yeah. About that video, Pradeep, if you can start that video, because I don't know, I'll get stuck in starting that video. Could you do that for me, please?
And Tina madam, you said you need to check that video, this thing, right? This thing, sound or something before sharing.
She already learned stuff. That's before the session I helped her.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I shouldn't get stuck again.
No problem. I will help you out. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. So I have already come out of the screen sharing, and
Okay.
I will go to that video. All right.
Yeah, you should not play the video, but keep it open.
Okay.
And then click on share screen. And before clicking on the window that you want to choose, select share computer sound, which is found at left bottom corner. When you click on share screen,
okay,
you will have something called
share computer sound. Yes, it's already clicked.
Okay. Now click on the window that you want to share.
Okay.
And click share.
Can you check the volume?
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see the screen, but we cannot hear any audio.
Okay.
From your end.
thought our mind tries to find is a worry from our life. The worry can be from our past or from our future. And after finding it, we make ourselves attached with the worry. And at that very moment, we bid goodbye to our present moment. And that is the start where in mind we begin to live in the past and future. Don't you feel really like this? If you leave your present moment behind by attaching yourself with the thoughts in your mind, then you probably don't know what you're missing. You are missing the present moment where you are right now. It's almost like ignoring the humongous treasure that is placed beside us. And instead of that, we are trying to be content with the imaginative tiny share of treasure in the form of our past and future thoughts. It's like ignoring a baby's smile, her playfulness in the present moment, and thinking when she will grow up and go to school. It's like traveling somewhere and without enjoying the present destination spot, we start to think when we will go to the next stop. Or like without being content or thankful with our present life, we engage our mind in fantasizing our future. So without rambling much, let's go to a super simple technique where we will be able to enjoy the present moment we have. The ultimate treasure we have with ourselves all the time that we don't even realize. No matter where you are, it doesn't mean whether you are sitting somewhere or standing. Whenever any thought hits your head, try to be aware of that. Like realizing, yes, a thought just came in my head. Then just recognize whether it's a thought of your past or future. Recognizing your thoughts gives yourself a real power. This means you are not slave of your mind anymore. You now know what thoughts are coming in your mind and what's not. If it's a thought of your past, like an incident where you were very embarrassed, or a bad phase in your life, or thoughts from your future, like when I will buy my own house or my next phone, then immediately drop the thought from your mind. Simply imagine that the thoughts are dropping from your head, just like fruits and flowers drop from a tree. You'll observe that a feeling of lightness comes in your mind and body. You'll start to feel good, and this is the reward you can give to your mind. Our mind and brain is hungry for rewards. So when you give this to your mind, you'll feel good. You'll start to be in the present moment. You'll get to know the benefits it can offer to you. It needs practice, and you'll realize until now you are missing one important thing, that is life. So that's all for today. Meet you in the next video like this one. It will probably be on meditation.
So that's how, so yes, friends,
It was a great video.
we have come to the end of the session.
Awesome, fantastic. I think you need a full round of applause from everybody, please. Let's go ahead and clap. You can unmute yourself and please clap. It was an amazing session. Thank you very much. No, it was a mesmerizing, and especially your stories, the ups and downs, it was really amazing. I think I have taken 1.5 page notes. You'll not be able to understand what I've written, but still I know that what I've written. So it's really thank you for that. So let's go ahead and for the question and answer session. It's 6:40 right now. So we have time up to 6:55. I request each one of you to please go ahead and ask few questions to Reena ma'am, where she'll be able to answer, and it will be helpful to all of us. Yeah, thank you.
Reena madam, I take this opportunity to congratulate you. Thank you for this wonderful presentation.
My pleasure.
The thing is, you're a steadfast lady. You had that leadership in yourself, actually. So whenever your parents called you, in spite of though you had 2 daughters at a young age, and then looking after it's very difficult, of course. And in spite of them calling again and again and again, you as a woman, see, normally woman, it is very difficult because looking after children is very, it's not so easy. Small children, we cannot maintain those children. And if your husband is not there with you and all those things, that time every woman wants somebody. By default, they want somebody so that the mother is looking after something, or your father is looking after something. You will have that confidence, and you're also working woman again.
Yes.
So that is,
yes.
I really appreciate the courage you had and your conviction. You did not want to go back to your parents.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That is great actually,
Absolutely.
because as a woman, I appreciate you for that. I really appreciate you.
Thank
You
you.
had that courage and conviction to maintain your maintain your strength. So you did very good job, and I appreciate you for that. And what are your daughters doing, madam, now?
My elder daughter is in her final year of MBBS now.
Great.
Wow, very
she'll
good.
she'll be appearing for the exam this month, end of this month.
Okay.
Great, great.
Yes. And my
Second daughter?
My second daughter has completed her BCom and she's doing her articleship for CA, training to become a CA now, chartered accountant.
Great. That is great actually. So that
Thank
you
you
have
very
made it
much.
also, no?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
some sacrifices were made, sir.
No, that is a great
Sacrifices were made.
satisfaction. Ultimately, what we are going to give to our children, that's most important, madam.
Yes.
See,
Yes, sir.
what we do to our children, or when we see them progress, when we see them independent in thoughts and their action, that is what
Yes,
a
sir.
parent has to give. That is the minimum guarantee we can give. Never think about giving them money and all those things, because that is perishable. Whatever money you make and keep it in the bank, overnight it may get lost. But that education, that strength, whatever we give, the values we give, the ethics, the values, the customs, whatever we have imbibed in the children, that
They
will
will
be for the
remain.
long time. Even when we are not there, it will be there with them. They cannot forget it. So that is the great thing.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
True,
you.
very
Thank you,
true.
Sai Raja sir. Great,
Very
amazing.
good.
Yeah, thank you for that.
At the outset,
Any other questions? Yeah, Dr. Shiv
Thank
Kumar,
you, sir.
please go ahead.
Yeah, at the outset, please accept our congratulations for a
Thank you, sir.
wonderful, thought-provoking session you gave us. The one thing which I found missing in the whole thing was you did mention about some friends in your 10th, 12th standards.
Yes,
How
sir.
come you never had any good friends at any time where you were working in so many organizations, you said? Did you not get any support from any of your friends during any of those times?
Actually, what had happened was that most of the time it was in Delhi when I was working there. So all my friends are that side, north side now. And I may be in touch with a few of them. But then currently, who is available here in Mumbai are my Mumbai friends. So they are my support. They are my support system right now. And you are there, my Bangalore friends. So I'm looking more towards now downwards, southwards. North is okay. North part is okay, fine. So now, because you people are the reality, you people are around me, and I keep interacting with you. I keep seeing you every day, almost on a daily basis. So, which is why my interactions
Already
are
you have
more.
become a national figure now.
Yes, my interactions are more with you people now.
So you are following what you have said.
You can always depend on us for any kind of support which you feel we are capable of giving.
Absolutely,
We're very
sir.
happy.
Sir.
We are happy that you're considering us all as your friends. We are very, very happy. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
Reena ma'am, it was
Yeah, go ahead, Tina, madam. Go ahead.
Reena ma'am, it was a wonderful session. It raised lots of questions how one can bring the children up alone.
Yes.
So, there is always a question mark. I want to ask whether your husband at least provided the financial support to you in bringing up the children.
Yes, absolutely. Whatever little that he could, whatever best he could do, he did.
So all this while you were alone in bringing up the children, is it? There are lots of challenges you would have faced.
A lot of challenges.
I'm just wondering whether you are able to forgive your husband as such, because he was aspiring and he was going towards the work.
Yes.
And sometimes we give preference to family or sometimes to work. So I'm just wondering whether you are able to forgive him wholeheartedly that you were made to bring up the children alone.
No, he accepts it. He does accept it. So I mean, beyond that point, then I don't need to forgive or forget, or because once the person is realized and once the person accepts that this was a a weak point. So it's okay. It's okay by me.
It's really very nice of
I have
you.
absolutely no grudges. No grudges for anybody for that matter.
One thing I'll tell you.
My respect for you has really increased, Reena ma'am.
Thank you.
The wonderful session. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. My pleasure, Tina.
Yeah, thank you, Tina, madam. Yeah, Narendra sir, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, one thing I want to tell you, Reena ma'am, knowingly or unknowingly, maybe because of your type of personality you are, by rejecting your parents' support and taking responsibility of your children all on your own, you have you have become a role model to your children. You have embedded that courage and facing challenges, everything. Your children have seen their mother taking all the responsibility and doing on her own. So you have developed two strong souls who are taught by mother how to stay focused and achieve something in life. So that major part which parents miss in bringing up children, that part, maybe because of circumstance also, you have done it. So that is a big proud moment for you. And even now, what you are trying to achieve through your Mentis Academy and this one, that's a great thing. And when you are destined towards your goal, to achieve your goal, naturally, it has happened in my life now so far. You are channeled, you are somehow you are made to move in a direction, and you are doing IITD course is one such moment.
Yes, sir.
And it is same in my life also. A last resort to fight for my happiness and goal, I have landed here in IITD. So same thing, I don't know, must have happened to you. So as you seek good friends, they are there. I wanted supportive friends. All my 43-year-old service, I was looking for one appreciation, I didn't get. And here, wherever I made friends, I got an encouragement, I got an appreciation. My morale is boosted. That's what I wanted and I got it.
You got, yes.
What I mean to say is, you are in the right place.
Yes.
Hope it is at the right time.
Yes, yes.
You will get everything, stay focused, what you want. You will get it 100%. 100% you will get. I don't think you have missed any way there. I wish you all the best, madam.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. Hats off to your courage. Hats off to your capacity.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Narendra sir. And for all of your information, that is one of the youngest participant of IITD in IITD Bangalore when we had.
My boss is there. My boss is there.
No, that's there. But still, we feel that. And he's from the Indian Navy. If you have not watched his life experiences, I request all of you to please go ahead and watch it. It's there in my Pradeep Shetty Mindset Coach channel. It's around 1 hour, 20 minutes or so. You should listen to him. I think that was one of the amazing sessions which we had, which I got a maximum number of likes, which he got. Okay. And it is really amazing. He spoke from his heart about the 1971 war also. And it was really amazing. You should see how he has passed through, just like they are in a submarine, and the opposite party, the Pakistan people, they already planted bombs underneath and all that things. Please go ahead and listen to that video. It's an amazing session. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Thank you. I would call you as a doctor and the youngest personality, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, any more questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, Deepika. Yes, Deepika.
Reena, first of all, sorry, I am in the kitchen, so I'm not keeping my video on.
Not a problem.
And first of all, let me congratulate you. I had already said you in advance that you will be rocking your talk, and which you did. Thank you so much, Reena. And my question to you is on the topic itself, living in the moment. How would you suggest the same for a working mother? for a working mother, a working lady, living in the moment is a biggest challenge, I must say. Biggest means biggest. It's a natural thing to
It's a biggest
got many
challenge.
thoughts coming up. So for
Yes.
them out here, all of us on the group, what is the right tip or the right guidance you would like to highlight on living in the moment for them in specific?
See, I don't consider myself to be an authority in this thing. Whatever I have presented is from my own experiences, and what I thought was right, I did at that point of time. So I lived in that moment as per what the circumstances were. So whatever the circumstances provided, whatever was available to me, I tried and managing within that. So what I feel is just be there, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what is available, and then make use of those resources that are available to you, and make use of those resources in a way that then can be optimized for the kind of a life that you want to lead. That is all that I can tell you, because as I said earlier also, every experience is different, because I am different, I am unique. Somebody else will be unique, having his own kind of experiences. So again, I'm saying that I'm not an authority in that. I did what seemed best to me at that point of time. With whatever resources that I had, I tried managing out of that. So I think that is what we need to do. With whatever resources that we have available around us, we have to best make use of those and get the situation done.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Reena. You actually helped me with that answer. I'll always remember this resources and management or managing word for my question as an answer from you. So thank you. And I really appreciate you are a strong woman. And I must say she's a very dear friend of mine. And she is very down to earth, very chubby, very friendly as well. Whenever you get to meet her, you get a lot to learn from her. I wish you very all the best, Reena. Thank you so much for your talk today.
Thank you, Deepika.
For a minute, did I see you becoming emotional, Reena madam?
Today?
A few seconds when you were answering Deepika, I thought you became slightly emotional. Then I realized you're also very much a human being like us.
I'm a human being, absolutely. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Guys, you're such a strong person. For a few seconds, I thought you were becoming
even when she was talking about her childhood feelings and helpless situations she faced, I could see you reliving those days.
Yes.
Now, emotionally. Yes. Yeah.
Very troublesome girl also. She was very troublesome. I don't know how the parents managed her. In fact,
I was a troublesome.
Only those type of girls will have courage, Rajaji.
You know, sir.
Only those type of girls will have courage to face the situation.
You know, sir, I realized then the kind of life that I led was I would ask for the same kind of life again, if at all, if it is granted to me. If at all I'm made a human being in my next life, I would want the same kind of a life, because those challenges itself taught me so much.
So God bless your parents again.
Yes, yes. God bless them.
Reena, doing second innings will be better, better than the first innings. Yeah, you will have an improved life now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, Kalpana ji, do you have any questions?
Not question. I want to congratulate Reena ma'am. Your story was so much like touching and very inspiring. And somewhere it took me in my life also. That I'll also be sharing during that time. Hearty congratulations and a lot of success to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpana ji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Reena madam, I really appreciate your effort for taking head-on challenges in your life and taking a step confidently, and that has built your self-confidence to move ahead in your life. I congratulate you on that front. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello, Reena ji.
Thank you, Kamlesh ji. Anybody else?
Yeah, I will say. Reena ji.
Yes, Vivek ji.
It was really amazing and heart-touching story which you have told. And hats off to you for going through and getting over all the hurdles, whatever you have faced.
Yes.
And the way in which your grandfather has mentored you,
Yes.
In the same way you have mentored your children, and now they are on the success path of their life. The full credit goes to the upbringing which we go through it.
Yes.
And your experiences are really encouraging to all of us. And even that video clip also is very, very important to be in present. See, if you think of past and all this thing and think about your hardships and all this thing, you will never improve in your life.
Yes.
So always to be in present is a very, very important. That carries the message, the whole lot of it. You remember, Rinaji, when I met you first in retreat?
Yes.
I said one thing. I remember one thing.
Okay.
I saw at your nose and I said, "Are you from J&K?"
Yes.
So, because I'm so fond of that place, and when you gave that activity in a garden, no, I started thinking of the garden in Kashmir.
Okay.
And because I had been there a decade ago, as well as I have got a couple of friends from J&K, and their nose is also similar, sharp like you.
Yeah.
So I always identify J&K people from their nose in this fashion. I find those type of people there only. So I just thought I will ask you that question. So your origin must be from J&K, I think.
I am.
Yes. So I'm right. So my observation is correct. Just I wanted to confirm it.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right, sir.
She looks like an Kashmir.
Yeah, she's from there. So anyway, Rinaji, all the best to you, and keep on encouraging yourself as well as all of us by your beautiful experiences, and give us some strength out of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rinaji. It was really a very amazing session. You touched, I think, everybody's heart. एक होता है, just presentation देखकर बोलना sometimes, and another thing is speaking from the heart. Even though you had the presentation, I think, but you were continuously focused, whatever your heart was telling you immediately was, going and sharing. Especially, I just loved that small baby sitting there, a little bit, ziddi, what you call in Hindi, बहुत shararti, and in Mumbaikar bhasha you call both mastikhor and all that things. So it was really amazing. It took us to me also to my childhood. So it was really an amazing session. I really, thank you for this. And I think you have already become a great, a personality in our field whom we know. And we will also go ahead and start promoting you. Maybe if anybody approaches me, or maybe any of us, say you want to learn something about the communication skills or maybe some life skills, and the person who has really gone through that life and he knows, एक होता है किताबों में पढ़ना, and दूसरा होता है practically, your life journey, that itself is something which you can guide people to that level. Because आजकल बोलते हैं ना, सच्चे दिल से कोई, nobody tells, but when you have a great story, I feel even this 1 hour session is very less. You must have plenty more things. And my one thought is that if you can go ahead and start writing a book, like Mr. Narendra Naik, he has already started writing his book.
Okay.
A personal book where you can really help with a lot of examples and everything. That would be really great, really amazing. Okay. It was really amazing. And I approached you and you immediately said, yes, I'm going to do the presentation. So it shows how much, ready you are, and, down to earth and humble, as Deepika madam said. Really amazing. It's really nice working with you. And I really appreciate you from my heart, from the Mindset Club for Success. And I hope in your next session, you can speak about your topic, whatever your mastery in topic, or which you, take topics online or offline, anywhere. You can go ahead and, start giving that presentation. Because anybody who comes to this platform, I would suggest that first they, share their life experiences. So we all are touched by it. And, it's not only about maybe 1 people attend, 10 people. It's about connecting the minds, right? So that is really, really important over here. So thank you very much. Do you have anything to say, Reena madam?
Not at this point of time.
Okay.
I can't think of saying anything right now. Maybe in the next session.
Okay. But let's thank all of them, whoever has joined, and that too on Sunday. It's really, I would say, it's a VVIP hour.
Yes.
Whoever has joined, it's really amazing. Yes. And before we disperse, before we leave the session, I would just like to introduce the speaker of next week. We do have him here. His name is Rajan Brahme. Rajan Saab, can you come on?
Yes,
Mr. Brahme?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's Mr. Rajan Brahme, and he's been, in our IITD journey since 5th of January last year. We have been together. We have done a lot of sessions and a lot of activities together. He's a very great gentleman. He works for a pharma industry. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes, he can just brief about it. Rajan Saab, it's up to you. So please go ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. So I work with a multinational company. Earlier it was Mylan, now it is Viatris. So over 25 years I was in sales. So in the entire tenure, I just changed 2 companies. This is my 3rd company. So with one company, I was around 19 years, and that was UCB India. It was Belgium-based company, and now this is US-based company, Mylan, and now it is situated. Earlier, the office was in Mumbai, but now the office is shifted for last 5-6 years in Bangalore. So I'm based in Bangalore. So like Pradeep also, he's from Mumbai, and then he came and settled in Bangalore. I am also in Bangalore now for last 6 years.
Yeah, so he's from our Mumbaikar and Amchi Mumbai. So please join him for the next session. That would be really great as a source of inspiration. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yes.
So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajan sir. Thank you very much. And I really thank each and every person over here who have joined this session for this great, amazing meet. I'm really sorry. We are running 3 minutes late. I'm sorry for that. 7:03. Normally we end the session by exactly at 7. So I thank you all and wish you have a great, happy evening, Sunday evening. And let's join next week for, Rajan sir's, real life. We learn a lot. I'll go ahead and upload this video within 1 day, within 24 hours. So you can go to Pradeep Shetty Mindset Coach channel, where you'll be able to, watch the whole recording live. And you can please put some comments that, it was amazing and everything. And also I'll put it into, I'll share it in Facebook. So I request all of you to please go ahead and, go to Reena Mathur madam's profile and also go ahead and like it and just put in few comments. It will definitely help all of us. Reena madam. Okay. So thank you very much and have a great day.
Let's share it for Reena madam.
Yeah, 3 cheers to Reena madam. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Hooray. Thank you. Thank you. All the best and have a great day. And love you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, everybody.